How y'all feeling today? I hope y'all good. I hope everything is good and life is treating y'all even better. Yo, listen, so I wanted to touch up on a Maximus project again, right? Because I've done a lot of breakthroughs with it. And I'm going to start with astral projection, okay? For those of you that don't know what astral projection is, because most of us is niggas, ain't nobody taught us some shit like this. Astral projection is basically, right, when your consciousness and your soul spirit ascend into the spiritual realm, right? So we live in a multiverse. And I know this probably sounds crazy, but whenever you dream, right, it is a vision of you in another universe, okay? Now, from my understanding, what I have really come across these past couple of months is that I do certainly believe that with every day that you go to sleep, depending on the energy and the balance that you have that day, you can move into different timelines. Like you either elevate or go down in the timeline, right? So what happens with that, right? What happens with that is that we must learn, like what I have learned is to astral project, which is to put my consciousness into a higher frame of dimensional being. That's the best way I can explain it. Like it's literally just putting, like, the first step for me at least is putting my tongue at the roof of my mouth. It changes your energy balance for some reason. I feel it. I don't really necessarily have the science with it, but I will say this. When you astral project into another realm, right? And when you astral project into other visions of yourself, which is you always have dreams, right? And a lot of people don't remember their dreams for a reason, right? Because that probably would be overstimulating for them. Maybe only a few of us can do this, but that's fine because I'm probably could wake other people up that can. So if you can astral project is very important, right? Because you're gonna hop into different universes in which you're doing different things, right? What happens with that is that you can learn from these universes and you could also help that you out. For some reason, that feels like I'm in control. I mean, these are like vivid dreams, but they feel real because you're in a whole different plane of existence, if that makes sense. Now, with that being said, I must really, really touch up on this because I believe that this is really good information to astral project. It just starts with meditation, you could say. You can clear your mind. All you got to do is clear your mind, all that. Because if you look at people in history, right? You look at people in history that all were conscious and super aware of everything going on. It took them time to get there, but there's also a lot of concepts that just came out of nowhere, which makes sense because, like, it makes sense that we're changing timelines all the time for something called the Nelson, like Mandela effect, right? A lot of people remember Mandela at certain times, right? Some people remember him dying in the 90s. I remember him dying in the early 2010s. Now, depending on what you do, Barstein, Bears, whatever the hell, you guys know what that is. I know you do. But if you really look into that, right, it makes more sense that we're shifting timelines on a daily basis. I believe it's on a daily. It could be different, but I believe that every time you go to sleep, your soul goes out and it reaches a new body. Depending, it could be the same one or it could be different ones. But yes. So your thought process and every thought that you have throughout the day, if you don't control your positive and negative thoughts, it can lean you more towards a negative or positive energy, which makes you wake up in a more positive or more negative reality. Now, for example, perception is reality, right? Now, you can be happy with nothing, but you can be sad with everything and depressed with everything. You see what I'm saying? It's not correlating that having and not having equals happiness. What controls it is you. You are the manifestation and you are the literal driver of your reality. Now, I could get deeper into that later on, but I just wanted to speak on astral projection because I feel that this is important. and somebody's gonna need to hear this. Take care. Love ya.